Hi, I'm Matt from vHub, and today is our final episode for season one of the vHub vignettes. I cannot thank you enough for journeying with us as we begin this wonderful experiment, and I could not be more excited for today. And today's message at the very top of the line is we need more mechanics. So when it comes to finding more mechanics in the transportation industry, there are few people better than my very special guest, Aaron Picozzi. Aaron is the president of American Diesel Training Centers, or ADTC, and they are solving America's technician shortage through recruitment, training, accountability, and placement. He's also a really good friend of mine. But before we get to Aaron, check out this. Aaron, thank you so much for joining the program today.
Matt, happy to be here. Wish we were in person, but this seems to be how it works now.
This is all it is now. There's no going back.
Yep.
I fully anticipate you and I will be together in person at some point in the near future. But for
Absolutely.
today, I'm so happy to have you. Now, Aaron, tell me, how did you get in the transportation industry?
Yeah, it's a pretty unique route. I cut my teeth turning wrenches in the Coast Guard. So I was a machinery technician, which what that means in the Coast Guard, because the Coast Guard is so small, is you fix things when they break, right? That's just what I did. I spent about 7 years doing that. And before I came into the Coast Guard, I had never changed my own oil. I knew nothing. So the Coast Guard took me from a baseline to zero to a fairly proficient mechanic. When I got out, bounced around doing all different sales roles, business development. And then I connected with Tim Spurlock right as he was standing up American Diesel with Chris Ellis. Absolutely loved what they were teaching folks, absolutely loved how they were approaching the problem and loved their vision. And I was an easy sell to bring on board.
So what are the problems that American Diesel Training Centers is solving today?
When you look at the transportation industry as a whole, it's riddled with problems, right? It's a great industry. It's an unbelievable industry, but so many folks don't know how to access the industry, right? It's very hard if you were talking to somebody and just they raised their hand and said, I want to be a diesel mechanic today. They don't have many options. They have options to go to long conventional training programs that are expensive, huge barriers of time and money, and then they don't know what to do after that. So one of the biggest problems that we see is how to take somebody with a high aptitude and an interest in having a real career, bring them in and train them and stand them up in the industry. I believe that the input of technicians is probably the number one problem that the industry faces today.
Well, it's a good question. What you mentioned is like the barriers to becoming a technician have never been more significant. I remember when I had my own shops and I had mechanics that were out of mobile trucks. You get a technician out of a training school that has 2-year program, and they come out and they say, "I want to do an in-frame. I can swap a motor. I can do an EGR." And I'd say, "No. You're going to do a PM, and then I'm going to have someone else check it because I have no idea." So it seems like you guys have really focused in on reducing those barriers for diesel technicians. So today we've been really talking about getting paid as an asset owner and how you can better utilize your assets. But when we talk about asset utilization, and that is really king at this point, is how do technicians factor into better utilization of commercial assets?
Yeah, it's a great question. So when you talk to shops, and I would venture to say that there's not a shop out there today that isn't dealing with a need for technicians, right? And so to kind of go back to what you said about the level of training, the expectations of folks, we almost decrew. We tell people, hey, you're going to be changing tires and brakes for a while. You're not going to work on a NASCAR race team because now you've got some fancy certificate. So we explain to people the reality of the industry. And there are tons of people out there in the high effort, low skill, low wage sectors that if you give them a chance and an opportunity, they'll take it. And that's what we do. And so when you look at asset utilization, people are your number one asset, right? Companies are turning away work. They can't get to the work fast enough. That's not a problem. The problem is finding competent folks that are trustworthy and efficient to handle that work. And that's where we come in. So just go ahead.
I was gonna say, so how are you finding these technicians that are going to come in and join your program?
That's our secret sauce, right? So that, if we could fix people in general, we'd be all making a lot more money. But what we found is, as I mentioned, that high effort, low skill, low wage jobs, there are tons of people, and COVID has never shined the light on it more in history. It's People are tired of working dead end jobs. It's just not necessary. People are willing to work. They want to work and they want to have real careers. So we drop in and we find those folks and we lasso them and we explain to them, hey, this is what your career is going to look like. Is this of interest to you? And they're usually very interested, and we train them up and then we get them to work.
What I love about this is you are communicating real expectations of what you're going to do, as opposed to telling somebody you're going to do all these amazing things. No, it starts off, it's not easy. It's not an easy profession, but you can get into that with a really low barrier. And I want to jump to our sponsor very quickly. So just give me a minute. This is something that I'm really excited about. We've had some amazing sponsors of our series so far, from vHub for Kids to series The Dwarf Planet, The Sun, as well as Time Person of the Year 2006. But today, this program is brought to you by American Diesel Training Centers, helping to solve the diesel mechanic shortage nationwide. ADTC believes that the U.S. educational system is completely unequipped to solve the shortage that by 2025 will number close to 400,000 mechanic openings. And they have the data to support it. ADTC pioneered the 300-hour intensive hands-on training system designed to proficiently train entry-level diesel mechanics. ADTC is on track to be the largest producer of technicians in the US, placing its technicians in dealerships, fleets, independent shops, waste management, and travel centers. After 1 year, their technician persistence rate in the industry is 95%. The persistence rate is 95%. Seriously, they know what they're doing. Shouldn't you? Learn more about American Diesel Training at americandieseltraining.com. All right, Aaron, we're back. Now, let me ask you this. We're talking about the ways that you're finding mechanics with an intensive but shorter duration period. What are the other tools that you're using to recruit mechanics? One of the challenges I always hear about is how expensive trade schools are. What are some of the things that you're doing to help drive technicians to join your program?
Yeah, absolutely. And so, and you're right. Education is expensive. Conventional education is expensive, and there are usually massive barriers, whether it's private or federal student loans. And we don't believe that that's the solution to facilitate the training of technicians. So we partner with an incredible impact investor that's really focused on career mobility. And we have the data to prove that our program does just that. And so we have a very, very competitive income share agreement, which is, think of it as a better way to do a student loan. So through support of our nonprofit backer, we're able to enter these individuals into very fair financing options where if they don't make the money that we tell them that they're going to make when they graduate, they don't have to pay. So it's a win for everybody. The other thing that we've done that is really innovative is that 25 to 50% of our students coming into the program are already hired by companies prior to their arrival, meaning that we focus so much on outcomes that we front load it. People have jobs before they even graduate because everybody that we work with is aware of the quality of our program, and that guy or gal coming in is going to be a proficient technician when they come out. So just take your chance on attitude and aptitude and give them a real career path.
That's incredible. This is the thing that I've been waiting for in the industry, is finding paths for people to enter at different areas. There's still going to be a place for these longer programs at 2 or 3 years commitment. There's still a path for apprenticeships, but this program, 300 hours to get you essentially ready to go, ready to turn the wrench and learn the process of being a mechanic. This is incredible. Let's say that I'm a for-hire carrier or I'm a private fleet and I want to learn more about what you and your team are doing. Where do I go?
You can go to americandieseltraining.com. You can look me up on LinkedIn. I'm the only Aaron Picozzi out there. Easy to find. Tim Spurlock, our CEO, very active on LinkedIn, posting great stuff about outcome of our students and different interactions. Really great stuff. Easy to find. You guys can find me.
I would say to everyone who's watching this, go to that website, look at the program. One of the things that I found so admirable about what you guys were doing is that you go on the platform and you see the pictures of the mechanics, the skill sets, you see where they're going. The idea of bringing pride back to these types of jobs, it could not be more important than it ever was. This is the time. And I love what you guys are doing. So Aaron, thank you so much for sharing your insights with us today. If people want to learn more about you, you mentioned you have LinkedIn. Are there any other places people can find you specifically?
Yeah, really LinkedIn is probably the best route in there. AmericanDieselTraining.com. You reach out for information. It's going to come to me, and we'll have a chat. And we offer solutions truly for folks who need one technician or 1,000 technicians. We work with companies all in between, and we can tailor that solution anywhere in the U.S.
Well, I love to hear it, Aaron. Thank you so much for joining us. And I will end it with, at vHub, we are solving problems every day to make sharing assets easier. Whether you rent, lease, or own, see how vHub can help streamline your business. Download our app or find out more at vhubapp.com. Until next time, that's the wrap of season 1. Aaron, we did it.
Fantastic.
Dude.